Hey guys, welcome back to I Want My Angst TV Reviews. I'm Keiki, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below as you follow along today while we're talking about the Netflix original series, Dash and Lily. Dash and Lily is based on the book Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, which was written by Rachel Cohn and David Leviathan, who are also the same people who wrote Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is one of my favorite films from 2008. It's a really unique love story, so if you like that film, you'll like Dash and Lily.
I am not jealous!
Dash and Lily is a love story that is told at Christmas where Grinch kind of falls in love with the Who, and they communicate with each other through this cute little red notebook. But if you watch Catfish, we all know that sometimes the person you build up in your head doesn't always fit what you see in reality.
You should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price.
One of the things I really liked about this show is that we are again introduced to teenagers who look and behave like teenagers. Our two main characters, Austin Abrams and Midori Francis, are two people who kind of romanticize love. We have the story of Lily, who, like many teenagers, hasn't had her big love story. The girl's never been kissed, and she's had such trouble finding that match in her world. Her brother, who's fallen in love and out of love many times in his life, helps her come up with the super romantic idea of finding love in her favorite store through a notebook.
Do you dare?
Dash, while not being the typical teenager we meet all the time, is the brooding, heartbroken teenager who is kind of constantly in an existential crisis, who you would typically find sitting at home drinking his dad's brandy and reading Kafka by the shore. Existential crisis. This is my existential crisis. One of the biggest things that I was really obsessed with in this series was that Dash and Lily are kind of two people from different parallel worlds. You can tell that Dash is definitely from an affluent background, a want-for-naught type of kid, and he's a little bitter because of that. Throwback to one of my favorite films, She's All That. Lily is totally the weird girl.
Be silent. Be still.
She's the weird artsy girl. She makes her own clothes. She, kind of really navigates the world in her own unique style. The girl hangs out with mostly adults. And if that tells you anything about her, it doesn't mean that she's necessarily immature. It just means that she's yet to find a way to connect to people who don't really share interests that she has. We like to refer to those people as old souls. This series is about the love story of Dash and Lily, but we have to give huge props to Dash's best friend, Boomer, played by Dante Brown. Boomer is the MVP. Everyone needs a friend who will ride this hard for you. Boomer is keeping up the facade for Dash and Lily because, let's be honest, in a world of technology and internet stalking, it's kind of simple to cross-check the littlest fact you find of someone and know their whole life story.
Research me obsessively.
I love the idea that this story occurs in the modern day world, but we're stepping out of the typical swipe left, swipe right, slide into my DMs situation of meeting. And because of trying something different, Dash and Lily have made a real connection with each other in a matter of weeks that you don't get in most relationships. Some of the parallels that I liked of Nick and Nora is that, hey, there's a scavenger hunt. But in this scavenger hunt, they're trying to get to know each other. Dash and Lily are both forced to kind of get out of their comfort zones, be open to things that, they've necessarily never experienced in life. One thing I loved about the show is that there is a huge dichotomy of different people in this series, and it was so awesome to see friendship groups of multicultural people. We have a ton of interracial relationships, and it's never really brought up as a factor. These kids grew up with each other. They're from different walks of life, but they've all met at school, and they don't let that get in the way of them having a good time with each other. Things I didn't like. Is someone ever gonna tell us what happened between Grandpa and Mrs. Basil E, aka his sister, in a full story? Because taking Lily on a plane to see the Blue Man Group really isn't enough to sever your relationship with your only living sibling in the world. The way the parents treat their kids in this show is cringy. Dash's parents couldn't give two shits about him. And Lily's parents treat her like she's such a child that they can't even let her know about big decisions that are gonna affect her life as well. Teenagers can handle things. They aren't babies. And treating them like babies honestly just forces them to lash out and do more of what you don't want them to do. Been there. Sneak out the window. I'm gonna call this person.
I do what I want.
Dash and Lily is 8 20-ish minute episodes. Sure, it could have been a movie, which actually might have been great because there are shows like Love, Victor, which is a growing spin-off of Love, Simon. But in a sense, I kind of feel like maybe Dash and Lily is the series version of Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Sure, they're not on a quest to find Fluffy, but it's another scavenger hunt to find love.
Down the rabbit hole.
Overall, I really enjoyed this series. It was super bingeable and definitely a great way to kind of kick off the Christmas spirit if you're not necessarily feeling it this year. Maybe do your own Dash and Lily scavenger hunt. I mean, it's still very social distance safe. It did end in a way that gives us the possibility of a season 2, and I'm curious to see where that goes. Are Dash and Lily still together? Will all these loose ends they've introduced eventually get tied up? We don't know. Waiting on you, Netflix.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of Dash and Lily in the comments below. Again, I'm Keiki, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any more angsty videos. Bye. Happy holidays.